Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3, and where we left off, it was, I believe, 1940 or 1941, and we just finished the war with Finland, and there's been some issues, or some, I won't say issues, we'll say there's been some time that's like sort of moved since then. My mouse has been a bit funny today. Right, how very odd. I'm not sure what was going on there, but anyway, as you can see, time has moved forward slightly. It is June 1941, so things are about to kick off. And I really wanted to just go through quickly how I've set up our defence. As you can see, we have a lot of troops aligned to try and deal with the German menace. The Germans equally, though, have a lot on our border. It is slightly worrying. It's a lot of units. But we'll have to go through and I'll show you sort of what the plan is. So, we have Army Group North, effectively, under Malinowski, who, you know, I've created a lot of these HQ divisions pretty quickly. Malinowski has about 1.1 million men. We have Army Group Center under Rotos... Oh, I should be able to pronounce this. Rokovsky. Oh, that was shocking. But yes, he commands Army Group Center, which is our largest force, which is about 1.2 million. And then in the south we have Rybaliko. Again, I apologise. Who has about 9k. So altogether we have the Kharkov military district under Timoshenko, who has circa 920k under his command, and then we have under Konev the Western Strategic Direction, who has 2.4 million men. So we've got 3 million men facing the Axis. Now to support this, I have put every single one of our bombers and light bombers in position. And the way that I've structured the defence is a defence in depth. So we have tank divisions, motorised divisions. You should have a leader. Just make sure there isn't anyone else that needs a leader up here. Nope, looking good, looking good, looking good. But yes, so my defence is structured around several aspects. So everyone was asking what I was going to do with my garrisons. The garrisons have formed the second echelon of my defensive line in many places. They form a part of this line. And yeah, we're looking pretty good, all things considered. We're a little bit low on supply in places, but you know, that's purely just because of the amount of units that we have. But I've tried to do what I can to keep these units as supplied as possible. And in fact, I think we have done... Did we do a... I think I did a building... I can't remember if I did an infrastructure work in the centre here, but I think I did. So, yeah, that's the situation. Now, the general plan is to try and hold at this front line for as long as possible. If I need to, I can pull back with these units here, behind this river line, and still have Lvov and whatever that's pronounced as a defensive pivot, if needs be. But it's to hold this river line as much as possible. Now, I have garrisons in every single one of the major towns and cities near the front line. Even one in Kiev. Odessa has one. Now, where the defense is strongest is in the north. We have a lot of panzer divisions, and my plan with these tank divisions is to take these two provinces here, because then we'll hold the river line. So the only issue with that is I'm going to have to push out a lot of German units to accomplish this. So I'm going to immediately attack when they attack us into these provinces and see what damage we can do. The defense is probably weakest, I would say, down here in Romania. Now, where we might struggle is these two provinces here. But I do have a lot of pretty good units as fallback units in the event that we need them. But a lot of it is garrisons. Now, my general plan is I am going to use, hopefully, 15th Army under Malanin, who is, I think, directly subordinated to Pavlov, who isn't the best commander in the world. Unless I didn't... Who are you connected to? Ah, you are connected, yes, to Pavlov. And then who's in the Moscow 11? Ah, Valinesky. So, in the north, it's going to be a defensive stance, although I can probably take Petsalmo, which is good. I'm going to move into Sala, and then hold a defensive posture along here. But the main axis of attack is I'm going to use all of my armour that I've massed here. So I've massed a great many armour divisions on this front. Some of them are fresh. They've only just been put there. But I'm going to push straight in into southern Finland and try and knock Finland out of the war as quickly as possible. Because then I can take all of these units and move them south, and they can be my new mobile force that I use to try and counterattack the Germans. And to that end, I've also dedicated the majority of my air power, so the actual striking force of the Soviet air arm is going to be used to try and destroy Finland, in a very similar move as to what we did before, because it works so effectively. If you can bring down the strength of these units, and bearing in mind they would have taken a lot of manpower losses the first time round, my hope is that I can do a killer blow to them, and then hopefully reenact exactly the same process on Romania and the Balkans. Because if there's a weak point, it's Romania. Because once you get past this sort of area here, these natural defences here, they've only got a couple of victory points. So once I've dealt with Finland, if I can rapidly redeploy and try and take out Romania, that would be very positive. In the time you missed, I inherited the Balkans, not Balkans, the Baltic states, so Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania very quickly. I was going to attack Iran and then they joined the Axis before I could do it. So I couldn't really attack them. All quiet still on the Chinese front. Obviously Operation Zet did the job because we were able to quite easily, it seems at least, as though we've been quite easily able to hold the Japanese at bay through our proxy Chinese war here. And that's really everything. Britain is holding in the Mediterranean, but nothing else really to contend with. I'm not sure how their convoy war's doing. In fact, that's something we can probably look at. Oh, I haven't got any spies in there, but oh well. The only issue is that we had 20,000 officer deaths. And I've done quite a lot of techs to increase our brigade strength. So you'll notice I have everything going into officers at the moment, just to try and get that officer ratio up as quickly as I possibly can. And as I say, I've spent a lot of time trying to increase the strength of our units, just to make sure we don't get any breaks, because when those panzers attack, some of our units could shatter. So I'm going to put the time on. I'm not sure if we've got any battle plans, actually. Winter War. Bagration. August Storm. Berlin Strategic Offensive. So that's the Stalingrad one. Hopefully they never get there. Bagration, we might get pushed back to this point, so it might be worth holding on to that. August Storm. Ah! Okay, so that's the very quick invasion of Manchukuo. And now this one, eventually, is going to be one that we're going to want to do. But in the meantime, let's keep time going. Now, I believe the invasion was June 16th or June 22nd. Yeah, control over Western Russia, where we get more resources. Now, there are a lot of logistic wizards in place, and we are still getting a few revolts. I am somewhat hoping that they get dealt with relatively quickly. As in, hopefully we don't get another one anytime soon. Speaking of which... Any others? No, only a couple that just make our name slightly smaller. I do have a ridiculous amount of fighters here. Like, crazy amounts of fighters. So, hopefully we will have some form of air supremacy. Because if we don't, I will be bloody shocked. Because there's no reason why we shouldn't have air superiority with the amount of planes we have. And our tech isn't too bad either for our planes. Just waiting for the last of those fortresses to come on. We'll have a level 5 fort in Brest-Litovsk. I don't think I pronounced that correctly, but... Hey. I'm giving it my all. I do have a video uploading as well that I'm sort of using as a timer, because this isn't going to be a particularly long episode. This is more like, let's just get the war started. So we'll do attack there. Use these divisions to attack there. Just waiting on them to get into position. It seems like we've sorted out a lot of our supply problems, because at one point it was pretty bad. There we go, that's a good fort to have. And as you'll notice, I've stopped production at the moment of units because of our officer ratio being a bit, well, shocking. And our supply situation was pretty bad as well at one point. Okay, so fortresses are coming online. And we could do with a little less rebellion. But I do have a few units back here that are meant to be doing anti-partisan duties. Speaking of which, I'm deploying these guys to help secure this front. We've got a pretty good noose hold on this area here. In fact, I need to move that unit down. And in fact, what I might start doing actually with this spare IC is just building up my my fallback line. Speaking of which, you have nothing. So if we are going to get a break, it would be like there. Yeah. And really, it's these towns here that are very important to hold. But yeah, I am a little bit worried about holding across the line. I think I'd be foolish not to be worried, though, to be fair. But, you know, I've played the Soviet Union before. When I've done this tactic before, it has worked. So, you know, maybe it should, touch wood, work again. If it doesn't, then I can only blame the fact that I've been stupid with the officer ratio. Even though I had a handle on it for pretty much the whole time, I've been stung by, like, losing 20,000 officers twice in a row. I don't know whether or not that's a new event. Now, I was expecting, somewhat, the German invasion by now. Maybe I got the date wrong? I'm pretty sure it's the 22nd, off the top of my head, for Barbarossa. I don't really care, because it just gives my thoughts a bit more time to come online. But I'm expecting this battle to trigger. Right. There we go. So. Finally, someone as the head of intelligence that isn't shit. Thank you. Right. Now. Land organisation plus 10% is good. That's worth having. Zhukov's 10% soft attack is also good, but I think the land organisation is what we need more at the moment. I'm going to take this guy as well, Zhukov. Happy with those. And then air organisation. Here comes the war, guys. I almost want to put this guy in because he has 10% land organisation as well. So I'm going to do that. Everyone that's going to give us like better land organisation, we're going to do. Okay. So that should help a little bit. Now we can do service by requirement, which will be very important for us. And is that war economy? Total economic mobilization. Ooh, baby. Okay, so we don't need a fleet like that. We can get the fine-tunes the war machine. We can redirect our manpower. And you know what? I am going to do more officer training. Then home front. Now we have the Soviet people. So the proletariat of all countries, the People's Volunteer Corps, known as the voluntary military and paramilitary units, formed to assist the Red Army and composed of persons not subject to priority conscription for mobilization. One of the ways in which the Soviet people participated in the armed struggle against the fascist German aggressors. In late June 1941, divisions of People's Volunteer Corps began forming at the initiative of party organizations and workers in Leningrad, and by June 30 they were being formed in all regions. The Central Committee of the ACP, the Bolshevik... Sorry for the cut in there. You know, I've had this cold now for a few days and it just won't stop. I just start coughing and it's a nightmare. So yeah, the Bolshevik approved the initiative of the inhabitants of Leningrad and spread the idea to other cities. On July 2nd, party organizations in Moscow began forming People's Volunteer Corps, and on July 4th, the State Defense Committee adopted the Decree on Voluntary Mobilization of the Working People of Moscow and the Moscow Oblast in divisions of People's Volunteer Corps. It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it, this? The work of forming the units was carried out by local party organizations. United, we are strong. Keep them in the factories. United, we are strong. So, we get a load of People's units? Not in the production queue. Doo-doo. I thought they said they would join the production queue game. Aha! They aren't in the production queue, they are in back here. Okay, so what this is bodies. Loads and loads of conscript bodies that I can throw at places. And you know what? That ain't a bad thing. So I am going to use all these bodies and I'm going to throw them towards the front. You know what? They can start manning my secondary line around Smolensk in the event that things go ridiculously tits up. Now, for the motherland. So, Pravda reports the Var fascists have attacked the motherland, and is there a more reliable source? To arms, comrades, we must show invaders the power of the Russian steamroller. Oh, fuck. Okay. That's 50,000 less officers. Okay, so shock high. Okay, so there's a few different things happening here. So we can get shock low, which would be good. Not great, but good. I'd rather have that. We can get shock high. Ooh, I forgot how filthy the black ice lack of modifiers are. Okay, so where is Stalin? It wasn't until July 3rd Stalin delivered his first speech to the nation since the invasion 11 days previously. His usual political rhetoric, while still there, was played down. Instead, he spoke in patriotic terms, putting together his people to defeat the beast we are now in our midst. Comrades, citizens, brothers and sisters, men of our army and navy, my words are addressed to you, dear friends, he began. The Red Army, Red Navy and all citizens of the Soviet Union must defend every inch of Soviet soil, must fight to the last drop of blood for our towns and villages, must display the daring, initiative and mental alertness that are inherent in our people. Stalin, in his Duka, gives us more debuffs. Isn't that fucking beautiful? And I think we lost 50k officers there, which isn't great, to be honest. So, next up is to get our air defense network going. So, we are going to do air intercept missions pretty much everywhere. Although, I don't really want to go into German territory. I literally just want to defend areas linked to us. So come on, let's get this going. Gotta make sure I click on the right order, of course. Because that would be a pain in the ass if I didn't. So yes, I'm sorry to say this air defense screen might take a while to set up. Now hopefully Finland doesn't declare war immediately. I imagine that they don't. come on, you. Because I imagine the Air Force is going to be incoming here. And it could be a bit of a bloodbath if we're not careful. Right, so, got our air wings all up there. Let's make sure these ones are going. We want everywhere to have air cover. It's that area there that's causing it to go like to the wrong thing. Right, I am going to start strategically bombing wherever I think there's a weakness in the lines here. Right, there's no port there. Can you not attack? Why is it only giving me port strike as an option? How odd. Anyway, let's go for air intercept. It's probably because I'm not at war with Romania yet. Right, let's get rid of that dissent, first of all. Let's take our problems one at a time. Okay. We are very much at war now. Oh, man. 20. Fucking hell. Okay, so we are outdoing Mr. Bay here. Oh, abandoned British equipment. Very good. Ooh, but we're taking a hammering, aren't we? Right, so we need to reinforce. With units straight away. So we are causing damage to their planes. Are we at war with... No, we're not at war with Finland yet. And it looks like... Are we getting Lend-Lease? Looks like we've got a bit of Lend-Lease going on from the Americans. Let's make sure we reinforce all of our units. Now, we do have an entire corps here that we could move up. And you know what? That's what I'm going to do. No, I'm going to send... So, let's send up a couple of units there. And there as well. So I put Zhukov here on purpose because he's a much better general than most of what we have, but even he's not going to make this much of a difference. Right, so there comes Hungary. So we're holding pretty well here. Let's move those NKVD divisions up. They've got some decent units around here that we need to try and sort of hold. Okay, there comes... Right, so there's Romania. So, let's take all of these units and start getting them to attack. Here. There's that border guard division. We can break that pretty quickly. Looks like we're holding the Hungarians. And we are going to run out of fuel very quickly if we're not careful. I'm very worried about this particular province here. Even going over a river, they've got just a load of infantry bridging the gap. So we've lost the Battle of Tremorsil. Now we will fall back to a fairly defensible spot here at Lyov. The only issue being that it will unhinge our defense in these two provinces by losing this. And we had managed to hold off this Waffen-SS division. So it's at this point where I can move up extra units via strategic redeployment. There's an SS Panzer division that we're having to hold off there. Let's move that NKVD division back in. And you know what? We can move up a couple of garrison units directly there as well. And this is one of the few times when I am going to do leave them nothing. Right, whatever third corps was. I think it's something in the north. We just lost it. But it wouldn't go there, would it? It would go here. Yeah, it's just this corps here. Okay, so that's a problem. We're going to break off here. Right, so we won a battle. It looks like we're going to wear out that mountain division. Here is a problem. Let's move to Mariupol. Okay. That unhinges this section, so it's time to fall back orderly here. Now there is another river that we can fall back to if we need to. I say let's take these motorized divisions and move them in. We can send you forwards and you forwards. Right, we've won a couple of battles. Very good. Okay, so we want to learn blitzkrieg tactics. So that gives us the ability, I think, to learn... Oh, great. Political indoctrination. So, there's Loamza, there's... Yes. Let's reroute these guard divisions north. We're looking a little bit scary at the moment. And these guys aren't of particular battle worthiness anyway. So I'm going to take them out. I'm going to have them fall back. July 1st. That's pretty quick for an infantry division. Take that. Still have some extra forts here with which to delay them. We can move, I think, the 28th or 26th Corps back a little bit. And I'm going to move up this motorized division. Or actually, no, I'm going to leave that there. Let's take the NKV division. That's a problem. That's what we didn't want to happen, was for them to break over the river line. It's only 2 divisions currently. Maybe if we counterattack now with everything, there's a slight possibility that we can maybe hold them back. Don't think that's likely, but, you know, I'm going to try it. The main thing is, with this line defense in depth that I'm doing, the line can buckle. So we can theoretically have the line fold. So, you know, I can have the line have to fold up to this river here, but the line can't break. If the line breaks and they cause a, you know, a rout anywhere, that's where we'll start having issues. So only attacking us with 1 infantry division here. And it's these sorts of fights that we can win. We must be getting Lend-Lease. Let me just check that. Oh no, so the invasion shock high, then there's the confusion high and the retreat high. So we've got the worst possible roll for everything. But it does up our IC pretty substantially. So we just lost another corps. Command. It doesn't matter if they shatter. Now up here is a problem. I centered a huge amount of our tanks and things up here, and I was expecting better out of them than what we're doing. But it looks like we're bleeding out the Germans pretty well. I can't really realistically hold this. This looks like a pretty bad position as well. Okay, so We've managed to break them there. Hey now, you. Don't you be getting any ideas about breaking through. Won the Battle of Turka. So we are beating Germans in places. You know, our defense in depth strategy is working somewhat. They're having really major success where I thought they wouldn't. But equally, it's where there isn't a river line. Where there's no river line, that seems to be having a good effect. Right, they're attacking us here. Mariupol. Just to immediately bring them out. Punishing them though. Right, got low popularity and a load of events have just come up. So, okay, let's go through all of these. So, the Stavka, the main commander of the armed forces of the Union of the SSR, Stavka Glavnogo Komandovania, was established in June 23rd, 1941 by the top secret decree signed by Joseph Stalin in his capacity as both the head of government and as leader of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. According to this decree, Stavka was composed of Defense Minister Marshal Simeon Timoshenko as president, the head of the General Staff, Georgy Zhukov, Stalin, Vyacheslav Molotov, Marshal Clement Voshilov, Marshal Simon Budonny, and People's Commissar Narkom of the Navy, Admiral Nikolai Gerasimovich Kuznetsov. You will gain some advances in common guard warfare techs. Okay, so trade is expired. You do. Let's form that command. Let's form all of the guards brigades. We want all of this. Comets, whatever. Right now, thank you. So we will do the Kirov plant. We'll build that air base. Let's build a Red Army division. So, industrial base. When the onslaught by the Germans began, the Soviet army groups in the west were rapidly overrun and the remainder of the Red Army had to rapidly devise a plan for defense. Soviet leadership decided that the Red Army had to slow down the German advance and force the armies to spread out as thinly as possible. This would make it possible to launch counter-offensive during the next year. It was also decided that this plan would buy the Soviets time to dismantle heavy industry and move them to Siberia in order to maintain production. So we can leave it where it is and we gain manpower. Whoop-de-doo. We can, okay, do that one. Or we can leave them nothing. I say that we leave them nothing. Okay. And the thing is, as they push further out, the stronger my wall gets, in theory. Although down here it looks fucking weak. And in fact, because they don't really look like they're going to break through particularly soon here, I'm going to redeploy our reserves from over here to up here. Same with this light armor division as well. And in fact, I want to get rid of that descent completely. I think we can do everything. So let's create those guards division things. I could do another couple of units just to handle. It's weird. There's a Randu. There's a random German occupied province there. That's strange. Okay, when are Finland going to get involved? Ah, they are involved. Right, I must have missed that. So, to that end, this is where our best armoured forces are available. Now, I am going to go for air superiority over their whole dirty country. And then once I've done setting this up, I'm going to call it a day, I think. Let's do ground attack. Do ground attack there. Let's push up with those garrison divisions. You know what, let's do air superiority over the whole country with these. What, I mean, what harm really is it doing that? And we could be more focused down here. As you can see, I have a lot of planes pointed squarely at Finland because my thinking is if I can knock Finland out extremely quickly, then I can move all of the troops from the Finnish border. It will secure Leningrad. You know, I just think it's a win-win, really. Okay, that's good. Do some more ground attack with these units. Same with these ones here. And, have you got range? Ah, you do. Very good. I'm pretty sure I put our logistical bombers around here somewhere. I mean, I could be going crazy. Ah, there they are. Right, so the plan with these guys is going to be to cause a break between north and south. Let's get these guys going. You're going to go on the road. In fact, I'm going to take all of the armor and just push you straight across. You guys are going to go that way. It's going to be a sledgehammer. Nothing more or less to it. Right, there's the Red Air Force. Lots of green here. We just lost it. Where is that town place that I just got told about? The north is looking really fucked. let's have you guys fall back a little bit. I'm not loving this. Can just hold that for a little bit longer. Let's get them out of there. And just make sure there's some sort of... because there is nothing there. I have no reserves to put in really there. Nothing good at least. Let's just let them fall back and regroup. Who isn't retreating here? It should be. You guys should all be retreating. Yeah, we lost Hanko. Who cares? Because we want to play havoc with their supply situation in the north. If we can. Right, let's crush them. Let's crush their manpower. There goes Aaron Caller. You know what? We're better off doing a proper retreat here. Our units are a little bit battered. There goes Croatia, so we lost that. And let's go for the Series A war bonds. They're not the best, but hey, it's better than nothing. And I'm going to need to start building units soon. The North is capitulating. Hold. And I think Sanokia is in the far south. That's what I call a hedgehog. That is 7 garrison divisions, or divisions in general, with several more in reserve. To get them out of there would be good, I reckon. Who's not in that battle? The 4th, the 6th, and the 8th. You guys fall back in that direction. I think these NKVD detachments can go as well. You can go. It's causing major issues to Hungary. Just won that battle. It looks like our bombing of northern Finland is going fairly well. You need to pull back. only thing stopping an advance there at the moment is a core HQ. So that needs to be sorted out right fast. There are no units there. Let's move that guard division around. And you know what? I think I'm going to call it an episode there. You know, I'll just go through these events because they're quick. And we get the Soviet high velocity gun. So thank you very much for watching. We're just over half a month into the 2 weeks in, I think, into World War II for the Soviets. Right now we're holding relatively, he says, well. The Germans have a lot of manpower, if that's to be believed. My hope is that I can hold them at a line that stretches all along here. But the thing is, this could be a bit of a trudge. This could be a disaster. But I think so far, we're holding them in place, relatively. There's a lot of Soviet, you know, a lot of German units that have punctured our sort of first line. I thought things would be going slightly better, but equally, you know, they could be going worse. Although we are looking like we might be encircled here. So let's pull back. So thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks again. Bye-bye.